Customer Service Directory. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer are inspiring you to get your business right. They know the customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Angel Tussey, Eric Raymer here, helping you get your business right by reminding you that small business is big business. Your business is our business. Happy day to you.
And to you. Do you ever make a mistake?
I don't just make a mistake. I make colossal mistakes.
Do you make the same mistake? Like, is it always a brand new colossal mistake? Did it start out as like a little mistake and then you added to it?
Well,
how can we really do, like, I
dig deeper sometimes.
Yeah,
I dig deeper sometimes, but most of my mistakes I learn from and try not to go do that again. I made a huge mistake this morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Do tell.
I decided to shave my head.
Okay, no, you shave your head that's not a new thing, right?
Right.
I remember the first time you decided to shave your head, I shaved it.
It's true.
Live on the radio.
That is correct.
I was freaked out.
Yes.
Because I never shaved somebody else's head, legs, arms. I do my own, but nobody else's.
Right.
And I was freaked out. I was going to cut.
Oh, you were so gentle.
And I did it. I was so slow.
No, you did a great job. Today I lost a pint of blood.
A pint of blood.
I broke out a brand new razor from the Dollar Shave Club. Mm-hmm. And, I got these razors. I got to put one in, get a new cartridge because I was going to just shave. And, just like I always do. This razor had a different agenda. This razor took a pound of flesh. I'm not, that may be an exaggeration, but not by much. It took, I have a good square inch of skull showing.
Oh my goodness.
It's horrible. And, I made a big mistake.
Oh, so what did you do wrong? Because what was different?
I think this particular razor blade was different because it decided to go over the curves and apex of my.
Have you ever done this before?
Melon. I have never cut myself this bad before.
Huh. Interesting.
No, never, ever.
Okay.
I mean, I've used a fillet knife and on my hand and never cut myself this bad before. Yeah. It's bad.
Oh.
Bad mistake.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of mistakes.
Yeah.
Apparently the failures in mistakes are what millionaires say are the tuition we pay to learn what we didn't learn in school.
Oh, which is everything?
Right? Yeah. So if you didn't learn it in school, you're going to learn it in real life. Then you are probably going to have some failures and mistakes. And they say to make millions and to live a successful life, you have to learn from your mistakes.
Yes, ma'am.
Which means that we don't make them again. And so here are some mistakes that millionaires seldom make twice that contribute to their successful lives. And the first one is, and this is according to John Rampton, Entrepreneur VIP.
All right.
He says the first mistake that they don't make twice, millionaires don't make twice, is worrying about people who do not like them.
That's a mistake for sure.
Right?
Worrying about people that don't like you.
You cannot please everyone.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You will have haters. Successful people to realize that worrying about the haters is not productive.
Sour grapes get you nothing.
Right. And, those that are complaining, right, we have to be immune to the complainers because they're over there watching. In fact, we have some friends who have a pretty vibrant and active social media following. They have a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
And they even posted this week a little thing that somebody said, I will never do business with you because you're just so unprofessional. And they posted it, said, see, even we even get haters. And so, just, it's okay. Not everybody's going to like you, but you can move on.
Time to move on.
The second mistake millionaires rarely make twice in leading successful lives is they do not make emotionally driven, important decisions. There's a lot of words in there.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you millionaires.
Making decisions They make.
Yes.
But not
and important decisions.
Important decisions, but not emotionally driven.
Yeah.
They say it takes just one poor emotionally driven decision to mess things up big time.
What if you make a great one?
Have you ever made a really great decision when you were driven emotionally?
I'll get back to you at that.
He's thinking, not right off the top of his head.
I think the answer is yes.
Nothing's off the top of his head. He already shaved off the top of his head.
I took the top of my head off.
Yeah, successful people have learned to take a step back.
Yeah.
Clear their minds, because when we're experience intense emotions, and that can be intensely happy, intensely angry, intensely frustrated, any of it, right? Yep. We have clouded judgment, and that clouded judgment is what can be detrimental.
You know, I agree with the thought behind it. I think.
Do you ever do 4 hours before sending that email or making that purchase? Do you ever implement some of those rules upon yourself?
Only when you implement them upon myself.
I do. I'm a big rule maker, implementer.
You are. And it's funny because I just came across a website that I'm trying to better myself, right? So came across this website, and it said it was a list of things that you should do, and one of them is write out a really angry response email, an email response to somebody, and then delete it. And it all came flooding back. That's exactly what you made me do. In fact, I think you actually did the deleting.
You wrote the angry email.
I did.
You were planning to send the angry email. I read it and I deleted it. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we do. In fact, even today, and I was chatting with somebody about making a decision, and it wasn't really, she wasn't being emotional, and it wasn't like this, really important decision. But even in any regular decision, if we're going to change course, you don't have to make that decision on the spot. I said, if you want to take 24 hours, sleep on it and get back to me, that's fine. She's like, no, I can make the decision right now. Okay, great. But even I have my rules for myself that this is one of those flags. If we're going to change course, maybe I should think about it. Maybe I should marinate on that overnight.
I think that's fair.
Even if it's not, a big decision, even if I'm not emotional over it.
The more important the decision, I think, the more value you get to removing emotion from it.
But I am a big fan of waiting 24 hours before sending that angry email. Yeah. And probably delete it anyways. Before leaving that angry voicemail. I mean, anytime that you are emotionally charged, even snarky, snarky. Okay. All right. Another mistake that millionaires rarely make twice if they are leading themselves on to success is lying.
What?
Lying. They say they know.
Honesty is such a lonely word.
Lying is almost never a good thing.
Everyone is so untrue.
Right? Unless somebody asks you, does this make my butt look fat? Then
honesty
lie.
Rarely ever heard.
Are you singing to me?
Mostly what I need from you.
So they say that this is especially true, that lying is not a good thing, especially in high stress situation, despite the immediate gratification or the conflict that it might prevent. See, this is the piece that I think where we're not necessarily talking about the lie that says, I'm doing something deceitful. Yeah. It's the lie that might prevent conflict. And I think that a lot of people find themselves in that space. No, I'm fine. Of course, it's okay. No, it's all good when it's not. Right. And so, I think that it's almost like this is this other pond, this other puddle of lies that we don't, people want to create. It could actually lead to being dishonest. What I try to do is just bite my tongue. But they say there are definitely successful people that have lied and accumulated success in the wrong ways. Of course, they're at risk of getting caught and losing what they worked for. But here's the thing. If you say something dishonest to somebody, it will come back to bite you. You will have to own up to it.
It's absolutely true.
And so I think sometimes it's just easier to get it out of the way as early and as fast as possible. Address the elephant in the room if there is something going on. and allow the conflict to be like there, done, and over.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what.
Team who can assist you and your family by providing the answers you need to legally get out of your timeshare. They have a 100% success rate and an A+ rating with the BBB. Give them a call today at 303-766-2255. If you've already paid your 2018 maintenance fee, ask them about their maintenance fee credit. Get the right information by calling 303-766-2255. For a limited time, Timeshare Termination Team is offering a free consultation. That's a $199 value. Just mention you heard it here. Call 303-766-2255 and get out of your timeshare safely and permanently. 303-766-2255 or visit timeshareterminationteam.com.
Tune in to Money Talk KDMT 1690 every Saturday at noon for the best advice on building that nest egg. You'll hear expert advice on feathering your nest, caching resources for the future, and going for the gold finches with a show that can put a little more green in your day-to-day living. While they may not be Wall Street wizards, they are the wizards of wildlife. And if you'd like to add these beautiful colors and melodious songs of wild birds to your portfolio, listen to Bird Talk Saturdays at noon on 1690 KDMT, presented by Wild Birds Unlimited. David and Scott Menno will enrich your life with tips on attracting birds, butterflies, bats, bees, and other things that don't start with the letter B. The Bird Brothers will bring you fascinating interviews, nature news, insights on building the best wild bird habitat, and we hope to bring you a smile and a chuckle or two as well. So listen to Bird Talk every Saturday at noon, right here on Money Talk 1690 KDMT.
Managing rental property isn't easy.
Yeah, hi, it's me from Apartment G.
Kind of like you're on call 24/7.
My apartment is flooding?
That's why A.T. Smith & Company is always there to help you manage your property.
Yeah, me again. You're not going to believe it, but it's freezing in here.
A.T. Smith & Company, residential property management for single-family homes, condos, townhomes, apartment buildings, everything. We have crews for maintenance. We find and screen the best tenants for you. With A.T. Smith & Company, the only management you have to do is deposit the check.
Yeah, me again in Apartment G. You know, the toilet's running and the refrigerator's not.
At A.G. Smith & Company, we've been managing houses and apartments throughout Denver for 40 years. And when we're on the job, you don't have to be. Ask about our comprehensive management program, our free rental evaluation for your property. And remember, there's never a setup fee at A.G. Smith. Learn more today at agsmithco.com.
Yeah, it's me again.
A.G. Smith, always there.
This is the Experience Pros Radio Show. Got an opinion or want to ask us a question? Email radio@experiencepros.com or message us on the Experience Pros Facebook page, and we'll interact with you live on the show.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Angel Tussey, Eric Raymer, helping you get your business right. We're talking about mistakes that millionaires tend to make only once.
Only once. You know, how many times, do we have to learn from our mistakes? Hopefully we make mistakes, because that is part of the tuition that we pay for the things they didn't teach us in school. That's part of life, is making mistakes. Yeah. I've read that. It says failures and mistakes are the tuition we pay to learn what they didn't teach us in school.
I have a degree in something.
Right? And so failure and making mistakes. And for those of us that may tend to find ourselves in the, always wanting to be perfect, perfectionism category, always beating ourselves up over every little mistake because we know we can do better, that this is actually part of it. If you read back in all the biographies of anybody who's had any success whatsoever,
right,
it is filled with statistics of how many times they have failed. And Babe Ruth is one of those, right?
Babe Ruth, Abraham Lincoln,
most home runs, most strikeouts,
Albert Einstein,
right? Most rejections, most failures. I mean, they had them.
Thomas Edison,
over and over and over again. But what they learned from them. They took those mistakes and learned from them and used them as stepping stones to the next milestone, the next metric, right? Yep. And so what are some of the mistakes? We're reading through entrepreneur.com, some mistakes that millionaires rarely make twice. Right. So they made this mistake. So if you made this mistake too, hopefully you learned from it, and now you're on your way to millionaire successful life status.
Here's the next one: worrying about the little things, right? And I think you can put a sentence right after the word worrying. Worrying is a mistake. Worrying is simply concerning yourself over things that you can't change.
You know what? I had over the weekend, I was feeling really anxious.
Oh.
And I could not pin it down as to what it was. And, but I'm like trying to go through is it this and is it this and is it that? And trying to figure it out, and just getting to a space of, okay, Angel, there's
your anxiety's out of control. Yeah. And you can't figure it out.
Right. Can't figure it out. There's nothing bad happened. And so trying to, but you just can kind of just feel yourself and, getting worked up and over nothing. And so we have a lot on our plates. And I think that when I try to remember it all is when I get anxious.
Yeah.
Because I need to schedule it. I need to put it into a system. I need to automate it. I need to delegate it or do it. I mean, there's all of these pieces I don't like to have. Right. I don't like to have loose ends. Yeah. I don't like to have all these plates spinning. I like to have everything buttoned up and tied up and no loose ends. And I was feeling like there was a loose end. So of course, then I overcompensate in other areas, to make sure that everything is all super tidy and put away and organized and nothing else, till I find this one loose end that's somewhere in my brain.
Is it
this
me?
Marble running around. It usually is. It usually is. But millionaires have a lot on their plate. They know that spending thought and energy on trivial things can be a huge problem. And so we've got to put things into that bigger perspective, that bigger picture. This helps us to hone in on what matters most, instead of the little gnats and the little things buzzing around out here that want to steal our focus from that bigger vision, that bigger picture, that larger drive that we have. We've got to get back up into our, 50,000 foot view.
Your genius zone.
Yes. Get out of the little stuff and get back up into the big picture.
Here's another mistake that happens usually only once. At least you hope that you learn from it. And that is not finding ways to decompress and re-energize. Time off, time, call it what you want. It's so important.
I like to check out and put my phone away.
Yep.
And, do things that have to do with self-care and, relaxing. I like to get a good night's sleep at night.
Sure.
All of that. But those that don't, that are just burning the candle at both ends and never stop, they're going to burn out.
It's true.
And you might even already be feeling burned out. I have a girlfriend who on social media has been sharing her experience about feeling like she's just going. Her husband says she's not any fun anymore, and she needs to get back into that happy place. And so whether that's more exercise, more time with your loved ones, meditating, doing things that you enjoy doing that fulfill you, bringing you joy and fulfillment. Maybe not, 24 hours a day, but in part of your day where you can re-energize. Plus in that space, I find you are so much more creative than when you're sitting there locked into your computer and just reacting to everything that's coming up via email and notifications and all of that.
How about this one? Never changing their mind. Stubbornness. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever like just dig in?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't think about that?
I try not to anymore. But yeah, I've been guilty of that many times.
We do. We say something, and in fact, I was having a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and it started to go down a whole nother trail. And I said, okay, can we stop? Can I back up? Because that's not the direction I wanted this conversation to go. So let me come back here to that question you asked me.
Yeah.
And let me answer it this way, because this is really the conversation I want to have. And it was one of those that I just realized as I was talking, this wasn't, this was like a bunny trail off, and it wasn't really serving the conversation, but it could have kept going down that path.
It could have.
And so there was no segue. There was no smooth way to say, let's bring it over here. I had to say, stop. Can I back up? And can we start over from here and go this direction?
You have to have two people that are willing to do that if that's going to be effective.
True.
Right.
Right. But it was one of those, it didn't matter that it was already going down that path. I could have stuck my heels in and said, this is now where we're going because you said that. Now I'm saying this and we're bound. But no, let's just stop. And it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to backtrack. It's okay if it's not fulfilling and going the direction you need it to go, instead of sticking to it and saying, well, what is it? I made my bed. I have to lie in it. Nuh-uh. I mean,
choose another bed.
Sometimes, right? You can get new sheets.
Here's another one, and it goes right along with it. Not asking for help, right?
Mm.
If you've decided you got this thing, you know how it works, you dig your heels in, and then you decide I don't need your help. Big mistake.
Right? I think being helpful is one of the best things we can do for people. Absolutely. But I also think being able to receive help is one of the best things we can do for ourselves. And so often we think that nobody cares, or they are not going to do it the same way I would do it. Whatever our own pride, our stubbornness, something gets in the way. But receiving help is probably one of the best things we can do for ourselves.
Finally, playing things safe. People who always take the safe route tend not to be the millionaires. You got to take a risk. Challenge is, are you willing to take a risk that is educated? We'll be back right after these messages. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, home of positive business talk.